The submersible pumps used in the City of Rowlett sewer lift stations require annual preventative maintenance to ensure their continued operation and service. We will follow the pump technician through the steps involved in maintaining a typical submersible wastewater pump used in our system. The electricity to the pump needs to be disconnected before service can be performed. Notice the technician switching the breaker to the off position and verifying that the power has been disconnected using a voltmeter. He will utilize the live-dead-live method by first testing a known good source of electricity. Next, the disconnected breaker will be tested and verified that there is no voltage present. Finally, the known good electrical source is tested again to ensure the voltmeter is operating properly. The technician will use lockout-tagout to secure the breaker to prevent any accidental electric shock or injuries that may occur. After verifying the electricity is turned off and the breaker is locked and secured, the pump must be lifted out of its place in the lift station wet well. Before it's completely removed, it should be pressure washed to remove any sludge and debris that may interfere with the service. Once cleaned, it will be removed from the well and set on a flat, stable surface. Here we see the bolts connecting the motor to the volute being removed, allowing access to the impeller for inspection. The impeller will be checked for any wear or cracks that may be present. If the impeller is found to be excessively worn or damaged, the technician will replace it. Next, the motor will be laid on its side and secured with a sling or strap. It is necessary to do this in order to drain the oil which lubricates the internal moving parts of the pump. The pump is raised and a pan or bucket placed under it. The technician will carefully remove the drain and fill plugs. Care must be taken when removing these plugs as pressure may have built in the oil chamber. Note the condition of the oil as it drains from the pump. It should be a clear or milky white color. Any discolored oil would indicate the presence of water in the oil, possibly caused by a bad seal. Before the plugs can be reinstalled, the O-rings should be replaced with new ones from the supplied kit from the pump manufacturer. Only one plug will be installed at this time. The pump needs to be pressure tested to verify the integrity of the seals. The technician will install the pressure gauge and use compressed air to pressure the pump to 7 psi. He will observe the gauge for several minutes to make sure there is no pressure drop. The motor housing now needs to be removed. The bolts are removed and the housing is lifted from the pump assembly. Inside the housing are the stator, shaft, and bearings, all of which require inspection. He will check the stator for any burnt spots and the shaft for any excessive wear or damage. The bearing is checked for any damage and the presence of grease. If there is no grease, it should be added at this time. Now the technician will reinstall the motor housing and tighten the bolts. At this time, the pump can be completely reassembled. To begin, the motor assembly is lowered into the volute and the bolts are reinstalled. The technician will tighten the bolts in a star pattern to ensure everything is secured evenly, preventing excessive vibration and binding during operation. He will also raise the pump assembly and manually move the impeller to ensure that it spins freely. At this time, the lock may be removed from the breaker and it can be energized. The technician will switch the breaker to the on position and the pump assembly is lowered back into place in the wet well and proper operation is verified.